It's December 17th, 2017. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, here with Raj Giri. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Going to talk about Clash of Champions, the final WWE pay-per-view of the year. Cover some other news as well. Is the XFL coming back? What does that mean? John Cena's returning soon, and Matt Morgan will be along shortly for our recap of tonight's pay-per-view. But Raj, before we hopped on the air here, we're talking about that these 205 live events for the cruiserweights are going to have some special guests.
Yeah. So Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy is headlining the 205 live events. So I think it's pretty clear the tickets weren't selling well, and so they had to pull something out of their hats. And you know, I mean, we've talked about this before. That brand is just dead. I don't know who, you know, who's paying money to see it, but there you go. They're adding Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt to those shows.
When do you think the last time Bray Wyatt was under 205 pounds was?
Nice. 9th grade, maybe?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, they're making a mockery of the cruiserweights by adding them to that show.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, look, you know, I said if that was happening near me, I would go to it so I could say I was at one of the 3 205 live events that happened.
Yeah.
You know, so if tickets are on sale, folks, go and see this. This is likely never going to happen again.
They are on sale. Go to Wrestling Inc. You'll get the link. You know, there's an article there about Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Hold on one second. I need to actually update that title. So, yeah. So there you go.
And funny that the people that book events like 205 live say, you know what? Tried our hand at football once before. Now's the time to get back into the game.
Right. Yeah. Instead of learning from your failures, just keep repeating them.
It's weird. So what have you heard about that? So the credit, I know Bixen Span was involved in getting a statement out of the WWE about this. Vince McMahon has a separate company, correct, that he's set up for this.
Yeah. So Alpha Entertainment. And here, let's open it up. So they've got a few different names trademarked. So they got URFL, United Football League, UFL, and For the Love of Football. So it's clear he wants to do something in there now. You know, the fact that one of the names is United Football League would suggest that he wants to look at starting a football league again, which anyone that paid attention the first time, it was a massive failure. It lost $100 million. It became a huge joke. So if he is going to go that route and starting a football league again, I think naming it the XFL, you know, would be a terrible idea just because it's just so intertwined and with failure. You know, that name, it's like a template for failing at a big sports venture, you know? So,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Vince is an old dude, you know, Vince is 72 years old, starting a football league when you got all this WWE stuff going on. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, they've got their big deal with Facebook Live coming up in January. So expanding there. Now, I did see some other, I know we talked about this on Wednesday's podcast, but I did see a lot of articles that have said the behind the scenes word is Vince is going all out for this to really test the waters, see if he can get some streaming bids when their deal is up with USA to really drive up that dollar value for WWE programming rights going forward.
Wait, repeat that.
So what I read, and I saw this on Recode, I saw this on a few other digital sites, saying that Vince McMahon is going all out for this Facebook partnership. To really show that they can deliver, because they think that a competitive bid from a Netflix, a Facebook, an Amazon will drive the price up to where USA will have to give them substantially more money to keep WWE programming in the year 2019.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's clear, because if you remember last time the TV rights were up, they were talking about, you know, doubling the rights fees that they were getting from USA, and they didn't get anywhere close to that. And it seemed pretty clear, like there weren't any other serious bidders. So USA Network got it back for not even close to what Vince was kind of hinting that they would be getting. So clearly they'd want as many people involved to get that price as high as possible. So, I mean, it's a smart business move. It makes total sense. And I don't think, you know, whenever they start a new show, like they had that Saturday morning slam or whatever that was called, main event superstars when they I think that was on WGN, if I'm not mistaken, for a little bit. But they go big at the beginning for the first couple of weeks, and then it's just kind of the same old. But for this, I think they'll, push it pretty good during the entire, 12 weeks that it's on?
Yeah. And they're talking, one thing I thought was interesting, I don't know if you saw this, but that they're going to have the VR element, the 360 cam there. And I saw tonight on Twitter, people were saying that was part of what that camera off to the side of the ring was tonight, was that they were testing that out.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. So everyone update your wish list for some VR viewing equipment at Christmas, because come January 18th, you're going to be able to be right there in the action every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Facebook.
Yeah.
Also, really spoiled tonight's Clash of Champions match when Sami Zayn announced for the Facebook tournament, and then cutting promos talking about he's not sure which woman he wants to pair with.
Yeah. You felt like they could have not announced all the names yet and waited a week or two to, announce Sami Zayn and some of the other guys. Have a little bit of a rollout, build some suspense, but
oh no,
didn't do that.
Mr. Matt Morgan, you excited for the XFL to come back?
I didn't think that was real. I didn't even click on the link. I thought for sure that was a fake. Oh, really?
Well, it's not. It's probably not going to be called the XFL. Vince McMahon started another company called Alpha Entertainment, and they've trademarked a bunch of football names. Called one of them's United Football League. One is the URFL, so it's like your football, I guess.
Wow.
The UFL, and For the Love of Football, they filed a trademark for that.
Dude, he can't let it go. I gotta love him for that, right? He built his empire back up after that flub. And he's like, F it. Before I go, I'm getting this shit over one way or the other.
I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's thinking he doesn't want to be remembered for that. Like, that's his big legacy to the mainstream audience. I don't know.
So he thinks. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you're freaking the P.T. Barnum of our generation. He's bigger than P.T. Barnum when you really break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so the XFL last time, it did a huge first number and then just died quickly. And it drew some of the lowest ratings. They were the lowest ratings on network television prime time at that time. So it was like all-time lows. So I can't see what's changed to make it work this time. You know what I mean?
You can hide it on their network.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I can't see football players signing up for WWE Network to watch NFL.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
That was my thoughts tonight. Baron and Mojo. Let's just get all the former NFL guys, make them team captains.
Yeah.
Some nice synergy going on.
When they first announced the XFL, there were bits of it I thought it could be interesting that could work.
Oh, I loved it. I loved the whole idea.
Yeah. But the fact that they didn't do a preseason, when you're starting something brand new, they should have had like a 2-month preseason that's not televised. So you work out all the kinks and you get these players on the same page. Because, I mean, the very first play, I think, was like a fumble or something. And someone got injured on the coin toss.
Somebody got injured. Yeah, that's for certain. And I forget who did it. Maybe Jericho. Somebody did a can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Somebody did a story on that. I forget what it was. One of the podcasts covered
this
Bruce
pretty well.
Was it Bruce? They did a good recap on what happened, and there was a reason why they didn't do preseason. I forget what it was. They felt like rushed and had to jump right into it right away for some reason. I forget what the reasoning was, but I liked it. I kept watching. I swear to God.
Yeah. Well,
no, I was hoping for it to succeed, even though I knew it would probably hurt wrestling. WWE with Vince's attention on the XFL and not WWE, but yeah, I mean, I was rooting for it, but I thought, that preseason and what you just said, it just felt rushed. So what you had were these teams that had that weren't gelled together at all. They just looked horrible, and then the football got better as the season went on. But I think if you had a long preseason to work all that out, I
wasn't watching for the football. I really wasn't. I wasn't. I don't want to watch C League players. If I want to do that, I go watch Canadian football or whatever. You know what I mean? So, like, I wanted to watch this for the WWE component. As stupid as that sounds.
Yeah.
We're like, we're going into the locker rooms to see naked cheerleaders and shoot up there, you know what? I was like, I'm watching.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. January 25th, the rumored press conference when we'll get an announcement. Now, the first time around, February 3rd, 2000 was when it was announced. And then the draft happened October 30th, 2000 for January 2001 launch. So hopefully they'll give it ample time this time to really get it up and running correctly.
You just got to wonder, like, there's so much football on TV now.
Yeah.
I mean, just this weekend, you had 2 games on Saturday. You know, there's a game on right now. You have Sunday Night Football. And now you have Thursday Night Football, which they didn't have back then. Monday night. So, yeah, I definitely think you wouldn't want to do it in the fall when there's already so much NFL product.
Is the pay-per-view that bad? That's why we're still talking about this?
Well, we thought we'd cover some other stuff first, Matt, so we could really, wait to jump into Clash of Champions.
Mr. Late over here. Sorry. All right.
No worries.
Is it really a huge story though? Like this XFL, is it huge?
Amongst wrestling fans, I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, Vince lost $100 million with the, WWE lost $100 million with the first XFL. You got to think that the wrestlers aren't too happy with that. The money that they're drawing was going for this football project. Now, this will be Vince's money, not WWE's money, but
really,
yeah,
yeah. So, Clash of Champions tonight. Speaking of football, Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder, and the crowd. I have to say, first off, the crowd for the first half of this pay-per-view, this was the hottest crowd outside of a Big Four that I've heard. I mean, they were invested in Mojo versus Zack. They were very loud. They were there early. Matt, what did you think of this match? Did it do anything for you?
No.
Okay, fair.
I thought it was better than I expected it to be. And I think part of that was the crowd because they were so hot. It made it easy to watch. Mojo's got new music, and I wasn't sure if it really fit him, but I thought it was as far as the new themes that people were getting, I thought it was good. So yeah, we had the mega powers exploding, and it wasn't. It was fine, I thought.
We'll see where they go. I mean, I thought the match was good. The crowd was pardon the term, the crowd was hype for this. But yeah, Mojo won over Zack. So look, for SmackDown, man, they don't have a lot going on. If they can do something with this, more power to them. After that, we have the triple threat for the WWE United States title. Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Okay, so this match, Matt, did this exceed your expectations?
Hell yes. This was match of the night. I love this match.
That's the first time ever, right? That Baron Corbin's been in a match of the night?
Of course it is. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah, it was. I went and bought a lottery ticket, too. Seriously, it was an awesome match. Let me tell you, good Lord, Bobby is so, this is Bobby's specialty. It's also Dolph's, but this is really Bobby's specialty, is putting big galoots like me in positions to make us look way better than we really are. I promise you, I watched this match, and I went back and watched the second time. I'll admit I fast-forwarded through another match I did not want to watch. I'll tell you when we come to it. But that's how much I wanted to watch this match again, to watch, because Bobby's fingerprints was all over this. I swear to God.
Yeah, I wonder if they called an audible, not an audible, but decided in the last day or two to have Ziggler win just to have a title change. Because there was nothing else really newsworthy on this show.
And talk about a swerve.
Bobby, why did Bobby win? That's my question.
Maybe they feel it's too soon. Like, have him chase Ziggler.
Yeah.
I mean, it keeps him and Ziggler going, or Corbin. I don't know.
I just think Bobby needs something. Bobby needs something, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so once a year, have Ziggler talk about how he's going to quit the company, make it seem like he's got a foot out the door, and then put the belt on him.
Yeah,
it's this belt though, or the Intercontinental maybe for like a week.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh, geez, it's 2017. We didn't give Ziggler his 3-week push yet, so let's do it real quick.
It was a surprise. I mean, I like had an audible reaction when he won, because we were talking about this, the last podcast. Nobody thought he stood a chance. Thought he was there to take the pin.
So WWE's done something about these leaks, like the results of the pay-per-views getting out. So because we haven't had the smart money coming in Watt, for a while, and so Ziggler was a plus 1,085 underdog. So if you would have put $100 on Ziggler, on these betting sites that take wrestling bets.
How much would you have
You
won?
would have $100. You would have won at over $1,000, $1,085.
Wow.
I need to start doing these things.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the smart money's not in, just put in a little bit. I mean, I'm not advocating gambling, but if you are a gambler, just put in a little bit on all the underdogs because that alone pays for everything.
I can't believe you could bet on pro wrestling.
And why aren't these
I don't know
sites
how
trying
much
to-
longer that'll be around.
Why aren't these sites trying to
Seriously.
sponsor our podcast? Because I'll,
Mhm.
every week just talk about the long shot bet that you should be placing on these sites.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No other sites get the traffic we get here.
Yeah. No, that was a hell of a match. That was all. I mean, just talk about a great way to start off the pay-per-view officially.
Yeah. Fans chanting, "This is awesome." And yeah, it was great.
Oh my God! Wait, real quick. How good was it when he went to go? Bobby, what's his name? Baron goes to shit can Bobby out of the ring. Bobby quickly reverses it and throws Baron out for a false finish there at the very end.
Oh yeah.
It was one of the most believable falses I've seen. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
In a few years, like that was so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we predicted the finish to be on the Wednesday podcast. We said, Rude has Ziggler pinned, and then Corbin steals it.
Yeah.
and they kind of played, did something similar, but it was the false finish. But yeah, it was really good.
Coordination across the board was fantastic for that match.
Yeah.
There's never a reversal on the guy going to shit can the other guy out of the ring at the finish. Go back. You will not see that very often.
Yeah.
It was so well done, man.
That was really cool. That finish was really cool with when he was going for the end of days and hitting the zigzag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I have no faith that they're going to do anything with Dolph after this. So
No.
we'll see.
I'll see what the
You're
guys
right.
from the Spirit Squad are up to.
I think it's something for
Bring them
Bobby
back
Roode
together.
to probably beat him on the Royal Rumble kickoff show, for the belt.
Man, I hope he wins the belt, but not on the kickoff. But yeah.
Yeah. So they took the momentum from that and went to the Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Rusev and Aiden English versus the New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Usos. Aiden English and Rusev getting to kick off that segment. Again,
Super
the crowd.
over.
Awesome.
This
Super
was like
over.
dream SmackDown crowd. These were people that like knew
sure.
everybody. They were invested in it. I mean, I've never
right.
seen this for SmackDown, a regular episode of SmackDown, let alone a SmackDown pay-per-view.
You're right.
Yeah. And
The show pretty much peaked here, I thought,
yeah, it
with
did.
this tag match.
It did. Great match though.
Yes,
was
it
awesome.
was. Chad Gable really stepped up tonight, too.
Yeah, has he been doing that roll into the German?
What's it called? Rolling Thunder? I forget what the hell it's called. What's his name used to do it? Doug Williams used to do that originally.
Yeah.
But wow, dude, he dumped them straight on their neck, on
He
their
did it
head.
on Rusev and Big E, who are they're like twice the size.
Yeah, but like those guys landed on their heads. Go
Yeah.
back and watch it. Like it looked great. Sorry,
Yeah.
it did look
I can
good.
crap my pants when I'm up in the air about to take that, but yeah,
Great match. Great match. Love this match too.
Rusev and I mean super over. This is the most over I've ever seen him with the crowd. As a
You must be
babyface.
loving this. That's your boy.
Yeah, I've been saying
thought
this
they
for
should've
years.
They should have won. Big E should have tapped to that.
Yeah.
I thought, it should have ended right there. That was my only nitpick.
The
About
second time around, he should have tapped. Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic match. So the Usos did retain, and I hope that
I don't
it's the
know why.
Usos. Yeah.
Well, I think
Why do
if you're
they
going to
need
do
it?
the title change, do it with just the Usos against Rusev and Aiden English, but instead of a four-way, So then that way it keeps them on them a little longer. It builds the chase, but you do the chase with Rusev and Aiden chasing the Usos, and then eventually do that title change.
Yeah. So this is where it seemed like maybe the pay-per-view was in a little bit of trouble, that they were stalling for time. When's the last time there was a lumberjack match when everybody got an entrance
Ugh.
Good point.
during it? Now I know the Riot Squad all came out at once, looking fantastic, I thought. But this match, Natalya versus Charlotte Flair, definitely everyone got involved. It was very interactive. Charlotte ended up winning and retaining, but then Natalya's promo after, I thought, was an interesting direction to take her.
I did too. Shouldn't be able to talk. I believe once you take somebody's finisher, granted it's on your lower extremities or your back or whatever, you still shouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because that almost sounded like a promo to turn heel. Like
Except she was
telling
already,
but she's already heel.
Yes.
So,
she's super heel.
I don't know if she's teasing her quitting or what, but yeah, it was kind of weird. And they had her crying.
It kind of makes sense though, right? Because think about it this way. So Carmella, Carmella's no cash in attempt, right? It seemed for a moment like she was going to tonight. But Carmella's got her fashion. So really going forward, Carmella, Tamina, and Lana, the Riot Squad. I'm assuming the Marine 6 is done filming because the Miz will be back. So Becky will be back. We'll have Becky, Naomi, and Charlotte. So we got those three factions. Natalia's the odd woman out going forward.
Yeah, kind of.
If they're doing, yeah, like, what do you call it? 6-man tags every week, then yeah, but.
And it's SmackDown. They love their 6-women tags.
Yeah.
It's crazy how heel heavy it is. There, Naomi was the only babyface lumberjack out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So it's like her, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch when she's back.
She still has the coolest entrance, by the way, Naomi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the tease of the Carmella cash-in. I thought tonight would have been a good night to do it, but they're going to keep dragging this out.
I don't know what it is, but their matches on the main roster, Charlotte and Natalya, just haven't been as good as the one they did in NXT.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. But the crowd, I felt, hung with this as best they could. They were into it, but then
you could tell it was kind of a turning point. Like it was starting to. The crowd was starting to, they weren't as hot after this match.
Then Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Okay.
Dude, those guys are about to be, I hate to say this because I love me some Luke Harper. I do. But this is not, they're going to be done within, I give them, what month are we?
December.
January, February, March. I don't give them into Mania. I think they get cut before Mania.
Cut or broken up?
Broken up and repackaged again. Because this is a horrible repackaging. I do not like it. I don't. Them together, maybe, okay, great. But not this Bludgeoning Brothers. Ah!
Yeah.
It's so freaking lame.
So they squashed these guys, which is, that's what
great.
you should do when you're introducing these monsters. But it's so corny. The name, their promo at the end of the match it sounded like if you're doing a spoof on 80s wrestling, it sounded like South Park. Like if they, it's like one of those promos.
Yeah.
But weird that the commentary kept saying, "Oh, this match is 6 months in the making," like treating it like there's all this story behind it, even though
it kind of is, right? I guess in theory, the Bludgeon Brothers were attacking them.
The most build-up ever for the least amount of story.
See, I didn't even know that. So the Bludgeon Brothers have been the ones responsible for
all this? 2B. 2B was the clue in the Fashion Files 6 months ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. But exactly. That's how much sense it makes. And I'm like, okay, sure. But there's no... I mean, and you could hear when they came out, Breezango, the crowd likes both of these guys. And it was just kind of, just a momentum-killing match.
It's, again, them not reading their own audience. Breezango's over. I know they were a little bit dead during this part of the show, but everywhere else, Breezango's pretty much over. Them again, they're not listening to their audience, though.
Yeah, they treated them like total job guys here.
Yes, they did.
I would have liked it if the Ascension would have come out and tried to save Breezango, and then the Ascension got beat down too. That would have at least people would have popped for that, the surprise of something else happening. But instead, this was just paint by numbers, squash.
What, feeding them 2 other jobbers? Why was that?
Yeah, because I think that it would have at least got the reaction from people that they were surprised something more was happening. There was a story. Then you could do the Ascension versus the Bludgeon Brothers for a while, ping pong it back and forth.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm not saying this is like A+ WWE programming, but I'm just saying that match was there was no surprise, there was no story, there was just over and done with. The entrances were longer than the match.
I got you.
Well, yeah, that was the point, was just to get them a win over an actual tag team.
Yeah, I just don't think you do that on a pay-per-view in the middle of a pay-per-view when you've had such a hot night.
Well, you do that all the time when you're introducing a new talent. You want to give them a showcase. I mean, remember when they didn't do that, like with Ziggler and Nakamura, and it cooled Nakamura off quick. So you don't want the Bludgeon Brothers having a competitive match with Breezango right off the bat when you're wanting to push them as monsters. But Matt, to your point, I kind of see them going in the direction of the Ascension, where they get a push for a little bit and then they just die out and never used on TV.
Yep.
I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
I don't. I want Luke Harper to be back to singles act.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting the weirdest placements though as a singles act.
Well, him and Dolph Ziggler stole a pay-per-view together, and he can do it again.
Yeah.
He's talented.
Okay, so Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton. The big story, the story we've had building coming out of Hell in a Cell. 2 special referees.
So stupid. So stupid.
It was very convoluted.
It ruined this match on so many levels to me. It really did. Only thing that I can look forward to is maybe Daniel Bryan comes back in some form or fashion and wrestles. I don't know. Shane, I don't know. Somebody. But that's it. Because other than that, this was horrible. And I love Daniel Bryan more than anybody. But, like, his acting was horrible in there tonight, too. It was horrible.
You could tell he wasn't feeling the material given to him.
You know, definitely. And shame on them for putting him in that stupid predicament to begin with. He's a logical wrestler. Don't put him in illogical things. He can make some of it work when it's comedy, but don't put him in that crap. And it did hurt the match. And that could have been that was a good match. It was a great match, all things considered. But
it was all about the end.
Just overshadowed by what the ending.
Definitely. This is Vince Russo 101 where there's a storyline. The match is not the storyline. It's the shit around it. It's the sizzle around the steak that's more important, not the steak itself. The sizzle being, Shane and Daniel Bryan. All right, and that was so if that's the deal, then they got that accomplished tonight. But shame on them for ever putting those 4 wrestlers as the backdrop to any storyline.
You know what? I felt like this whole pay-per-view was just that 2-minute finish. Like that was all the intrigue of this pay-per-view was that storyline and how is Daniel Bryan going to screw Shane, and that was it.
I think because we're all such big DB fans, you know what I mean. That he's finally incorporated in a storyline that's somewhat in the ring, I guess, and we want to see what's going to happen with them. I mean, that's why I was into it. So intrigued by it.
Yeah. So Daniel Bryan hasn't been cleared. Do you see WWE wanting to just?
Why are you laughing at that?
Because he kind of bumped off of Shane tonight. He fell on Shane. I was like, that was more physical than I thought it was going to be. I popped for that. It was like, oh my God, Daniel Bryan falling in the ring. I hope his head's okay.
Yeah. I mean, he just fell on Shane, but
yeah, but still,
that's a bump I can take. So anyway, so do you think they'd want to just cool Daniel Bryan off and make him look like try to get him as unpopular as possible before his contract runs out? And this storyline might be part of that.
No, because I'm sorry. They can do whatever they want. They tried it already for years.
Yeah.
This ain't going to work.
No, I'm not saying that it'll work, but do you see them trying to do that if they feel like he's leaving?
No, because you have someone like Cody Rhodes and all these other guys making money elsewhere and doing a damn good job at it. The last thing they're going to want to do is put him in a position to piss him off and to leave this company. They're going to succumb to this. Mark my words. He'll pass the test when the time comes, and he will be. Just my opinion. I think he's not leaving.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's too much money. He has a family. It's a different story now.
Yeah. The match ended from the table spot on. The match, I thought, got its momentum back, but just it took forever to get there. The first 2/3 of the match were so slow at a time when the pay-per-view could have really used a shot in the arm. So, of course, Sami and Kevin won on the quick count that Daniel Bryan did. And, man, and with that, we had still an hour to go in the pay-per-view for the last match. Jinder Mahal versus AJ Styles.
Yep.
It felt like it went 3.5 hours long.
And that was the final match of the year. Let's go out with a bang. A very long
final pay-per-view match, yeah.
Yeah, final pay-per-view match on this heavy psychology test of strength, old school style wrestling match.
When you have that much time to fill, you got to pull that out. You have to.
If you've been in the arena, Matt, would you have been thinking, I can beat the crowd and get to my car and just get out of here a little bit quicker, if I leave during this one? Yeah, it was so slow.
It was, but with that much time to kill, you guys, you have to do that. You have to start slow. You can't go in there and start ping-ponging around and doing exciting shit for an hour straight.
Yeah, no, you're right, but I think I don't think anyone thought that Jinder was going to win. I think that hurt the match right from the beginning.
True. Yeah.
There was no one buying any of the pins or Jinder on offense. And the more offense Jinder got, the more clear it was that AJ was winning. And so when Jinder took the first 30 minutes or whatever of that match.
Yeah, it was what it was.
And it was one of those things. Jinder wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just slow. And
just slow.
You know. So I guess they're moving on. That's it for Jinder for now, I'm guessing.
Man, I hope they have something good for him still, though. I hope he can figure out how to keep it. You know, he's got to do something to keep. They didn't do him any favors. Like, somebody should have stopped him from doing these over the top, 80s heel type, promos.
I think that's what Vince wanted.
With I know he does, but like in the long run, it's going to hurt him with facials and the, he's always, he's kind of always like. like in every promo, and it's he's got a, I don't know what it is. I don't know. That's my disconnect to a certain degree. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what you could do is have him feud with Bobby Roode for the U.S. title. Have Roode win it, and then that way he gets just more experience working with better workers. Working longer matches, because this was easily the longest match of his WWE career. And man.
You don't think 3MB had any barn burners that lasted an hour?
They had that WLC match. That was, but I guess they technically weren't in the match. They were just in his corner.
How bad is that? How bad is that? They were the garnish to fucking Hornswoggle.
Remember, Drew McIntyre would take the pin from El Torito.
Yes. Oh Lord! So
times change.
Brutal. Yeah.
Oh man.
But who? Where do you go with AJ?
Who else is there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've really cooled off on Nakamura, but and Cena's going to Raw. He's booked for next week's Raw. So.
Oh wow!
To do what?
I don't know.
Say Merry Christmas.
He was added
God bless
to the show.
America. That probably is just a Christmas thing, though, for Christmas Raw.
God bless America.
No, you don't think he's going to come out there and give some speech about being thankful for all we have in the holidays?
If they did that, it would probably be a dark segment. I don't see them having him come out if they don't have any plans for him.
Oh, maybe. I mean, how are tickets for Christmas Raw selling?
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So if it was a dark segment, then he could end up on SmackDown and go for that title. But yeah, we'll see. Because AJ, there's no built-in opponents for him right now. I mean, Nakamura. I guess they could go with anyone. I mean, they went with AJ as champ after beating him. They
could do Yeah, they could do Nakamura.
Yeah. They could do Owens again. I feel like that's overdone.
How about Orton? Have him and AJ have an angle?
They had a couple matches.
Yeah.
They were okay.
I mean, because the RKOs in that match, holy shit.
Yeah, they could do some cool stuff if
they really could.
If they got on the right page. But their matches that they had together were kind of average. Good. Yeah. Well, we'll see. SmackDown, I think this pay-per-view just kind of highlighted it. Just felt.
Can we highlight Glenn's frosty beverage? What are you drinking there, Glenn?
Oh, I'm just drinking water, dude.
Oh, a little treat for the Glenn stir.
Water.
All right, continue, Raj. Sorry.
You know what was funny after that pay-per-view is I'm drinking from the smaller cup tonight because after that pay-per-view, I was telling my wife, I'm like, I just want to go right to sleep after the podcast. I'm like, my energy was so drained by that pay-per-view. That I'm like, I don't want to drink too much.
They had a Christmas Story, the live version of that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was like, dang, missing that with the kids.
Was that any good?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Hasn't it? I know it's a live version, but for some reason I thought it was on already once. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Maybe I just saw advertisements for it. Maybe.
Yeah, that must be it.
Because I wanted to see that too.
Yeah.
I will check that out and repeat. Did you see the Miz posted that video recreating the Christmas Story scene with the bunny suit and Maurice, his little brother laughing? It's adorable. It's online.
Is it good? I didn't watch it.
It's adorable because Maurice does the little brother's laugh perfectly.
Oh.
Like, very odd. It's that time of year, folks. So I wanted this pay-per-view. In fact, for the first half, I was like, what a pleasant surprise. That we all thought this was going to be a nothing pay-per-view, hot crowd, good matches, and then it just hit that brick wall.
Yeah.
And didn't recover.
Chris is suggesting Sami Zayn versus AJ for now, and
Sure.
as a filler until Mania season. Chris Featherstone.
I would love that. And let's call a spade right now. Sami Zayn is on fire.
Yeah.
He has totally found himself. Oh my God, he's going to be such a great babyface when it's time to go back. Isn't that? It's so crazy how that works. But Stone Cold and others have always said this: you get a good heel run in you first, you're going to make such an incredible babyface when it's time to turn you. But you know what I mean. But I've always loved Sammy selling. I always thought that'd be enough to get him over as a face, and it was to a certain extent, like Intercontinental level. I'm sorry, but I think Sammy right now can hold his own in a heavyweight championship match.
Oh yeah,
I really do. Or Angle, I should say.
Yeah,
he's so comfortable. He's so comfortable out there. I love watching him.
And they got 6 weeks to the Rumble, so they can do whatever they want right now.
And the Yep movement is super over with me.
Yeah, it just depends on where they're going with the Sammy, Kevin Owens, Shane angle with Daniel Bryan. So we'll see.
Yeah. Did you guys watch Final Battle the other night, Ring of Honor?
No. How do you watch it?
They have it streaming on their website. Of course, people upload things to various sites as well. I just watched the final match where Dalton Castle won over Cody for the Ring of Honor Championship.
That dude's their champion?
Dalton Castle.
You've got to be shitting me.
Nope.
Dude, I get the dude's got a cool character and all, but maybe I'm behind the times probably. I'm sure everyone thinks it's great that this dude won, but I mean, the dude because my grass is bigger, but
yeah, he doesn't scream world champion to me. I mean, he's got a cool act, but
right,
he's not a. When I think world champion, I think of a guy you could really build. That should be like the face of the company. But
yeah,
I don't know. Cody's on fire, so I was a little surprised with that.
Yeah, me too.
He dyed his hair blonde. It looked kind of weird. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I thought it was fitting. I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
So, final thought on Clash of Champions tonight, Matt.
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Out of 10, what do you give it out of 10?
Oh, I give the same goddamn grade every time. C+.
That's just to be on the box cover, Matt. I don't know. What do you want me to say, Matt Morgan?
Yeah, I'll give it a C minus maybe. I don't know. The first two matches were so good that it probably brings it up to a C. It just felt like an episode of SmackDown, like a good episode of SmackDown,
with a really long, convoluted tag match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been a 2-hour pay-per-view. I mean, they don't really do that anymore. I'm trying to think. What's the shortest pay-per-view in recent memory, Raj?
This was.
I thought this was pretty short.
This was 2:45.
Yeah, wow. So that's usually they go. They've been going past 11 a lot, so they ended it a little early. So yeah, I'd say this was.
That's why they caught me off. They caught me off guard with that because I was thinking, oh my God, AJ and they got to pull an hour and a half. There's no way.
Could you imagine if that match was an hour and a half?
It completely caught me off guard. I was supposed to be shooting a commercial, and like right after the show was done, I'm like, when is this going to be over? Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Before we wrap, Raj, we got a few other news things.
We got a few things. First of all, Matt, we had talked about the 205 live events, right?
Yeah.
So tonight they announced that Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy will be on those shows, facing each other.
What the freak? They're not 205.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I don't get. I mean, I get obviously because the guys can't draw on their own, so they put 2 stars on it, get more people in the building. You know what? If you really think about it, its goal. You see what its goal is, right? It's like all those people that you put Hulk Hogan at the top of any show. Guess what? The Mounties now getting some props. Hacksaw's being looked at now. Everyone on that roster is now getting a look that they probably normally wouldn't get looked at because fans would never pay to see them wrestle. You know what I mean? That's obviously the goal. People think Matt Hardy. People will pay to see Matt and what's his name, and Bray Wyatt because they're a hot internet. Actually, they're the two people to put on that show that aren't 205 when you think about it. Because in Vince's head and whoever's running the show's head, the 205 Live is an internet fans like show is what they think.
Mm-hmm.
they don't realize that the internet fans are annoyed and feel patronized and feel super annoyed that they're not giving these guys characters. But nonetheless, they halfway got it right because they put 2 internet darlings on it right now as far as Matt Hardy goes with his new character versus Bray.
Yeah, but what does this tell you about like them doing more of these? Because it shows that
we'll see.
It can't draw on its own. So
well, how do we know? I thought they didn't try. I thought this was their first attempt.
Right, but tickets have been on sale. So clearly the tickets weren't selling, and so that's why they added
off of tickets.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go, internet wrestling community. You know, your little cruiserweight ain't getting the job done. How about that? Start liking bigger guys.
All right. What? Oh, and Tom Zenk passed away. Did you see that?
Really? How?
Yeah. I don't think they know that.
No drugs or anything, right? Tom Zenk.
Let me see.
Z-Man was over for a minute.
Yeah, he was in got to win at WrestleMania 3, you know, one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time, right?
He wasn't part of Girls and Cars, was he? That was Rick Martel and Tito.
That was Strike Force, yeah.
No, there's no way Tito was in that song. It was, what's his name? Oh, God, the guy I don't like who's from Connecticut. He was a dick when I tried to get an autograph from him as a kid. He was one of the 4 horsemen. Like the worst 4 horsemen in history.
Paul Roma?
Yes.
No. It was Tito.
It was Young Stallions.
Tito and Rick Martel.
It was Young Stallions. Look it up. Girls and Cars.
No, Young Stallions had that. We were cruising the streets looking for some action. Had my radio playing on my rock and roll station. They had that Jimmy
and what was
Hart.
The hook?
No, Girls and Cars was a more summer ballady song. So Girls and Cars was Strike Force.
No girls in any car with Tito Santana. He was old even then.
It was Tito and Rick. Trust me.
I know they were in Strike Force, but I'm telling you that song was not with them.
All right, let's bet our beards on this.
I can't do that anymore. Where is these fans with the answers?
It's they don't need it. I'm telling you the answer. I'm guarantee you. Just here, look it up on YouTube right now. I will send you the link.
Oh wait, so you're seeing it right in front of you that it's them?
No, I haven't put it. I'm looking right now.
Okay. There's no way Tito's involved with anything with girls. He was corny as hell, except for Tito versus like Greg Valentine. That version of Tito was pretty badass.
All right, let's send the link. We're gonna put it.
Matador Tito too.
All right, here you go.
So it really is.
It is Strike Force. Yep.
With Robbie Dupree.
Who's Robbie Dupree? Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah.
All right, I'm wrong.
Oh, Robbie Dupree from Steal Away. Yacht rocker Robbie Dupree.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn. I don't like where this is turning.
All right. So Tom Zenk started in the 80s. He had that look that you'd think Vince would love. Like
they did him right with Z-Man, didn't they?
In WCW?
Yeah. Wasn't he kind of over for a minute? They gave him a good push. I thought they did at least. Yeah,
he held the WCW TV title.
Right. And I remember thinking like guys like him and Barry Horowitz. I'm like, these guys are especially Horowitz. These guys are like jobbers in WWF, and like they're coming here, and like they're actually stars. I remember thinking that. Even as a kid, I was able to make that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's too bad he was 59 years old.
Damn.
Oh.
I bet you'll say he had I'm not saying this is truth, by the way, people, but I'm wondering if it's one of those things where I've been a large heart or.
Oh yeah.
Anybody takes steroids over the years, the thought process is there's always been a large heart, and I'm sure back in the 80s, I have no proof of this, but I'm sure Tom, he looked like $1 million, had to take something.
Yeah.
Okay. He'd be foolish not to back then.
Yeah. Okay, so Crank It Up was the Young Stallions theme, by the way.
Crank It Up, huh?
So yeah. Anyway, back to Tom Zenk, but yeah, obviously.
You don't want to hear my story why I hate Paul Roma?
Oh, no, let's hear it.
All right, so Penfield Beach, Fairfield, Connecticut. I don't know how old. I must have been 10, 12. I don't know, 7 years old. My summer camp, my Christian Bible school summer camp, went to the beach, and me and a bunch of my friends were on the pavilion, and there's Paul Roma, captain over, I swear to God, doing the Captain Morgan pose in these nut hugger shorts with no shirt on. All right, with his foot up like on like a table, like a picnic bench table, but looking out into like the water like this. I swear to you. And sunglasses and some little hairy meatball next to him. And so we all come, me and my friends come up next to him. And I'm like, guys, that's Paul Roma. And they're like, no, it's not you. I'm like, yes, it is. So I walk up to him like, hey, Mr. Roma, my name is Matt Morgan. I'm a huge fan of yours. Is there any way I can get an autograph? And he was like, sure, kid. And he goes to like start signing something. And then a friend of mine goes, hey, are you Paul from wrestling? And he's like, no, I'm Paul from the flower shop. Beat it, kids. And then like we all had to like get out of there. We got scared for our lives and like ran away. And and I never had a chance to meet him since, but he's got a freaking backhand coming to me. He's a little prick. And I always vowed myself whenever I had an opportunity to sign an autograph, I'd never be a dick like that.
That's well, we'll have to get Paul Roma on here.
F Paul Roma.
Another thing that happened this past week, Impact had their lowest rating ever, 161,000 viewers for Impact Wrestling this past Thursday. They were up against Tribute to the Troops, but you know they've been up against WWE shows in the past. But this was
what station?
On Pop. The
Pop?
usual, yeah, they're still on Pop. So
what were they normally doing?
They've been. Well, for a while they were in the 300s, and they've been kind of falling to the 200s, and now, 160, the lowest ever for a first run show. So,
somebody put up a graphic like on one of my Instagram, like they tagged me on Instagram, and it was like an old picture of like the TNA like house show coming to a town near you thing, back in the day, like in I don't know what year, 08 is what I'm guessing. It was like me, Nash, Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, Sting. AJ Sims, Samoa Joe, AJ Sims, jeez, that's my coach. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, who was the bigger ones on? Steiner, just all of these. Abyss was kind of over then. All these huge names. Hulk Hogan, everybody was on this. That Kurt Angle is anybody who's anybody was on this thing, and I remember going, what happened? You know, because I was looking at this roster and this poster, I'm going, this killed anything WWE is putting out there, in my opinion. It's my opinion. What the hell happened?
Well, there was an episode of Impact Wrestling. I think there might have been 2, actually, that topped 2 million viewers. So just think about that. And I think that was like 2011. So it's not like 10 years ago. We're talking, 6 years ago. But I mean, it's been a huge fall. So they brought in Don Callis and Scott D'Amore, and it was Chris Jericho that actually called Impact about hiring them. And so, yeah, Chris Jericho called them. We got an article on that going up tonight, so check that out. But yeah, it was Jericho that recommended them to Impact. So we'll see if they're able to do something. But
Scott D'Amore's been there for a while, though. What do you mean?
Well, he left and then just came back. But for Don Callis to join the creative team, that was Jericho's recommendation.
I like Don. Don seems like a really smart man, actually.
Yeah. Do you see the some people in the chat are wondering if you saw all the Jericho, Chris?
Of course
Kenny
I
Omega
did.
stuff.
I love Kenny Omega. Of course I did.
You saw the press conference?
Yeah. Yes. I love Jericho going over to the reporter. Do you guys have any idea? Like when you chase the Japanese reporters, they shoot scared. And they had me do like the Brody thing in the middle of my matches where I chased them around the ring. They legit would be shook. So for Jericho to go over and grab the dude's pants, I died laughing.
They call the other one an F face.
That was the other thing I popped so huge for.
Yeah.
You think it's funny? How fuck this? It was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely one of the first. He's right. That is the most intriguing angle in wrestling. There is no question about it.
Without question. And you know what? We were talking about this on Wednesday's podcast. Everything they did is stuff like they do in WWE, but in such a phony, convoluted way. You know, like with the video airing and then the lights come back on and the person's in the ring. Like they do that in WWE all the time. But the way they did it with Jericho being there, in the ring, totally unexpected, it was so effective and so much better than any way that I've seen WWE ever do that. And then, they do the contract signings with WWE all the time, which is similar to this press conference thing. But this press conference just seemed way more realistic, way more non-scripted, and it just came across just realistic, awesome, authentic. It really wanted, it makes you excited for that match.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm surprised the WWE isn't trying to hire him to do something in a creative or executive capacity between that, his cruise, his podcast.
He's a busy dude, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, so shouldn't the WWE, when they look at the competitive landscape right now, say, this is a guy we want to have on our payroll doing this for us, rather than potentially helping competing operations? Yeah. It just
Triple
seems
H
like
was
it's
cool with it seemed. Unless
Yeah.
Hunter was lying.
Yeah, I mean, they could have him, I'm guessing, pretty much whenever he's free.
But I'm talking about greater capacity, not just to wrestle, but have him actually doing some stuff business-wise for the company or in a creative capacity, because it seems like, I mean, he's proving himself with the cruise and everything else that he's got a mind for, beyond just in-ring promotion at this point.
If it was like the 80s, or the early 90s, where you could have a ton of input and stuff like that, maybe he'd be interested in something like that. I doubt it because of his touring and everything.
What's this cruise? Sorry, go ahead.
But no wrestler ever wants to work WWE creative. You never hear them talking about wanting, like a Steve Austin or a Mick Foley or someone that has a really good, head for the business. Mind for the business, yes, exactly. They want nothing to do with working creative.
Okay. What's the cruise?
So he's doing the Chris Jericho, essentially the Rock and Wrestling cruise, where it's going to be music, the Ring of Honor, Sea of Honor tournament. He approached WWE first. They passed on giving him NXT guys to do an NXT tournament on this cruise.
That was smart of him to go to NXT. That would have been good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he got Ring of Honor instead. He's got comedians, he's got bands, and from the looks of it, it looks like it's selling okay. I mean, they haven't reduced prices yet. It's still a year away. It's still happening.
How much is it?
It's like forget, because I looked at it. I think you could go for like $750 a person on the cheapest cabin. It's like a 4-night cruise or something like that.
They have cabins that are like a couple grand.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, but it's Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross, a ton of ROH guys. There's a ton of people. Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes,
Young Bucks.
Oh, Brandy Rhodes will be there.
Yeah. Speaking of which, part 2 of my interview with Brandy Rhodes is going up on the site this week. So, check that out.
What do you talk about?
Well, she's in the new that new Wags TV show, Wags Atlanta.
Oh, I take that back. That's pretty popular.
Yeah.
Actually.
So we talked about that. We talked about her wrestling. Talked about racism. We talked about all this other stuff. So pretty interesting stuff. So yeah. Check it out. So that's I think we kind of covered everything. Someone's asking if we have any predictions on who will win the Royal Rumble.
Ooh, I don't know who's in it.
Yeah, well, no one's in it yet. But
well, come on, you can't ask us that.
Well, it's going to be the standard guys. It's not like
who's going to win next year's World Series.
Well, but who's going to be in the Royal Rumble. It's Braun and Samoa Joe and the guys that are on Raw and SmackDown that aren't champs.
All right, Raj, give us your guess because I'm not giving mine. You look like a fool when you don't get it right. Go ahead.
I have no idea.
Dude, here's the point. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I don't even care.
Yeah. Well, last year they went with Randy Orton, which was
Randy won last year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, don't you remember? And then they did him and Bray at Mania with the maggots on the ring match.
What the? Wow. That's kind of weird if Randy Orton win a Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be something like that, just something completely out of left field.
I want to see.
Obviously, Roman Reigns is going to be an early favorite because he's going to be in the world title, one of the world title matches.
It's in Philadelphia. Listen to me. It's a Philadelphia pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
No way in hell Roman wins it. No way they could be this stupid to do this again to him. They just started building a little momentum back for him. No way does he win this. I will say that much.
You know who I think it is?
Braun?
No, I'd say Nakamura, and he faces AJ at Mania.
Ooh, I'll love that. I would love that.
It's AJ at Mania, and it'll go on and mid-card.
But listen to me.
It will be, but
that's the lift it needs, though. That's the lift that storyline needs. Because once the bell rings, that match sells itself, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just the in-ring action, right? But like storyline-wise, we're like, well, how would those two get? We're both thinking it. I know we were, Raj, when we were like, okay, Nakamura and AJ, that'd be cool to watch. But like, how would it get started? Is it just cold babyface versus cold babyface? That's how you get it started. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd definitely give it a bump
to get it rolling. And then once they'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that.
See, I don't think it should be. That's what's BS. I don't think that, to me as a fan, that is not a middle of the card Mania match. I know people like seeing the Goldbergs come back and the Brock Lesnar. I'd rather see, I'm being honest, Nakamura all day and AJ all day.
Oh, sure.
Both of them.
Yeah, but when you've got Brock versus Roman going last,
I don't like that match better.
You got whatever Triple H is doing, Don't
like that match either better.
I just think it's how they'll book it out. I think it'll be a highlight of the show, but I think it'll go on earlier.
Yeah. Would you be pissed if Triple H comes back and wins?
He won 2 years ago, right? So I can't see them doing that again. Plus, I'm guessing he's facing either Kurt Angle or Braun at the Rumble and facing the other one at Mania. So.
Wow. I hope Kurt is like back. I hope, because if he is, show stealing stuff.
Yeah, he had that leg injury at Survivor Series, so hopefully he's all healed up from that.
And even that, he didn't look like he was moving like the Kurt I knew.
Yeah.
We shall see. Tomorrow night, less than 24 hours till Monday Night Raw goes off the air. We'll be back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast to talk about everything that happens.
Yeah. Tomorrow night it'll be Justin LeBar and you guys. And cool. I'll be on Wednesday, and we're not going to be on next Monday for the Christmas.
Timeout. Why are you not doing the show?
Man, I got my kids are out of school, so I need to spend time with them too.
I have a commissioner meeting at 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'm making laws and stuff.
Hey, man, I'm doing the Wednesday podcast.
You're sitting on your phone watching
and stuff. Okay, like important things, and you're freaking playing grab ass with Sesame Street. Come on, I don't get it. Why can't? Oh, and what's his name brought up a good point. Come on, Share Shot Reality. What's wrong with me?
Oh, Justin LeBar.
Sorry, Justin. I love Justin. He had a good idea. We should start a new show with this show where one of us get kicked off if the fans are not entertained by us.
Yeah, we could do that. I'll join in and try to get kicked off early.
I was gonna say, where do I sign up?
We were comparing you last week, Raj, because what we like that we were going off on last week. I don't know if you heard it. It's when you're listening to the podcast and like texting with notes about the podcast when you're not on the podcast, like the anonymous Raw GM just like telling us what to do. And I was like, oh. Can't do the podcast, but he can listen to the podcast apparently.
Yeah, I heard you had the problem with me saying agree to disagree. Usually when I say that means you're wrong, but I don't want to spend the whole episode talking about it, so let's move on.
It's like a double DQ finish, man. It's just not interesting. Cool, guys. Well, so we'll be back here tomorrow night. Myself, Mr. Matt Morgan, Mr. Justin LeBar for our last Raw recap of 2017. Of course, we'll be back Wednesday as scheduled for SmackDown and the following week, right? We're going to do...
Yeah,
cool.
That'll be the last one of the year.
Yeah, cool, guys. So until then, Matt, anything you want to plug?
WePrepMeals.com. We as in WE. PrepMeals.com. Use the Blueprint 10 for your discount code. And just go check them out, guys.
Nice. Cool. And, of course, stay tuned to the site. Raj, second part of the interview with Brandy Rhodes.
Al Snow, Terry Funk, Brandy Rhodes, a bunch of stuff. So you check it out. Check it out on the site. Till next time, I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and we'll see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Oh, wait, real quick. Also, our interview with Jinder Mahal, the second and the final part's going tomorrow. So look for that. Awesome. Good stuff. Till next time, folks, we'll see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care. See you guys.